So yesterday I managed to get that mackerel and I've decided to cook it up for my dinner tonight. Now I'm going to do a really simple recipe, just like all the other videos I've been uploading on the catch and cook. So I'm always going to keep it simple. Yeah, I believe in keeping it simple is key really, especially with fish. And yeah, hopefully it means that a few people will try it, not be put off by certain things, and yeah, give the recipes a go. Now I uploaded a photo to Instagram of the mackerel saying just first mackerel of the year, and I had a couple of people comment on it saying that they've had some recently as well, whether that's been off the shore or boat, I'm not sure, but they said it's actually been quite tasteless. So I was going to do something with this mackerel, but since hearing that I've decided to do something else just in case the fish is a bit lacking in flavour. Now I'm going to do a really simple thing. It's basically a miso mackerel rice bowl. It's very simple. Miso paste is made from fermented soya beans. It's used in Japanese cooking a lot. It's sort of a fraction sweet, but mostly a savoury thing. You just add a few ingredients to it, but it's dead easy to use, and it is really tasty. It's a very nice seasoning to broths and things like this basically. So I'm going to go through it. It's got a few veggies in it, chili, coriander, the rice like I say, and then you just make a little bit of broth with the rest of the miso paste. I'm going to brush the mackerel with miso and just straight bake it in the oven just to add that little bit of flavour to it in case it is lacking a little bit. So yeah, I'll crack on with it now and I'll show you how it's done. Right, so I've got the mackerel fillets here, and now I'm going to prepare them to go into the oven. Now I've got the miso paste in the bowl here, and all I'm going to add to that is just about half a teaspoon, I'd say, of sugar. And then basically a spoon of each of these. Now we've got soy sauce, so I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of soy. Actually, I'm going to do 1.5 of soy, just like that. I've got Chinese rice wine vinegar. I'm going to do 1 of that. About half or just over half of sesame oil. And then 1 spoon of clear honey. That all goes in like that. And then you just give that a little mix up. And we're going to brush the mackerel with this and then just bake it in the oven for about 15 minutes. And then the rest of this miso liquid here, this is going to go into the broth. Okay, so with this, got just a normal pastry brush here. Just going to soak the brush in the miso paste, and I'm just going to brush each fillet. You can give it quite a bit. This is just to give it a bit of flavour as it's cooking, so it's just not plain mackerel. Like I said before, a few people have been saying the mackerel they've been catching recently has been a bit tasteless, so it's just to add that bit more flavour to it. So there we go, that's that done. I've got some tin foil with a bit of baking paper on top there, just with a little bit of oil. I've used sesame oil, but you can use whatever. And then just going to pop those onto there like that. And then it's just a case of wrapping it up. And we'll bake that straight in the oven. Just like that. So for the broth, what I've got here is just sliced up ginger and a bit of garlic. That goes into the pan. I'm going to add just 1 or 2 dried chilies. And we've got the rest of the miso here, and I'm going to add all of that, and then this is already boiled, this kettle, just a bit of boiling water. Now I don't need a lot of broth, so about that amount should be enough. And then all we do now is turn it on and just simmer it. And then it's going to, these ingredients are going to infuse it that little bit more. We'll keep it warm, keep it to the side, and then it's good to go. So what I've got here is a bit of grated ginger, just some coriander chopped up, grated carrot. This is pak choy. I've got some lime to squeeze on top, spring onion, some radish, and a bit of red onion. And now none of this is actually going to get cooked. I mean, I'll drop the pak choy in the broth just to soften it a little bit, but this is all just to go on top. Once the fish is ready, got the rice in the bowl, you add the broth, add the veggies on top, and you're good to go. So the mackerel's just come out the oven, and this is the moment of truth. Now look at that. That is absolutely perfect. Now what you can do, you can leave it whole and just put it on top. Obviously you've got bones running up the middle here. Mackerel can be a bit finicky with bones. So yeah, you can either leave it whole or just break it up and then pop it on top. So I think I'm going to break it up. It just makes it easier when you're eating it. But check that out. Now what you can do with mackerel is the bones are very brittle. So where it runs down the spine, if you just scrape your finger sort of down like that, it takes most of them off. The bottom bits are normally fine, but just like that, you can see there, you just have a few bones, so you can just sort of scrape them out, just like that, without losing too much meat. And if you do have any left in there, like I said, they're very brittle, so you'll just end up chewing them. But there we go, all sorted. So rice in the bowl, and then just add our veggies. I'm not going to add all of this, but most of it. Got radish there, carrot, got the ginger, which I'm just going to sprinkle all over, a bit more radish there, and then I'm going to go in with some of the mackerel, or in fact all the mackerel. Look at that. And then we've got our broth here. Now I added some of the pak choy to the broth, and this has got all the seasoning in it. Now to be honest, I could have actually done a little bit more broth, but I don't like loads of it. So all of that goes on. Then we got coriander on top, spring onion. Gonna squeeze some lime juice on that, and then just some chili flakes, as much as you want. I'm gonna put about half a teaspoon, and that is it. We're good to go. And there you have one bowl of tasty goodness. Now you can't really see the broth, but the broth is in there and it is so nice. And the idea is, just go ahead, mix everything together. Let's get a nice bit of that mackerel on there. Yep, that's good. Now I do understand what people are saying about the mackerel being a little bit bland. Obviously I've added things to this, the miso and it's got soy sauce in it, etc. So it's added a bit of saltiness to it. But I do get what people are saying. It's lacking a bit of the oiliness that the mackerel normally has when it's in prime season. But yeah, this is a really, really easy recipe. It's super tasty, it's nice and healthy. So if you want to give it a go, please give it a go and let me know what you think. Obviously there's recipes on the internet you can follow, things similar, just something different from what you see people normally cooking. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to finish this bad boy off now. There we got a lovely bit of mackerel there. Beautiful. But yeah, I won't eat with my mouth full. So yeah, I just wanted to say thanks very much for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Please like them and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. There's always going to be more coming up, especially over the summer months when summer actually finally gets here. I'm going to be out targeting a few different species. So yeah, loads to look forward to. But yeah, until then, I'll see you on the next one.